opening that videos. I've got to trim that as well. So yes, let's start the show off once again. So a very warm welcome to the United Forum. This is your latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and your opportunity to voice your opinion now for the very first time in Sri Lanka. I've got to get these settings right. This audio mix is all messed up. Apart from that, that aside, so we're back to the show. Yes, the show will basically be about my predicted starting 11, predicted scores, and and a little bit of my opinion, in fact, on why I picked certain players over certain other players. Now, before I do start off, yes, Mike, I'm sorry about that, mate. So before I do start off, just to give you a bit of news, Ralph Rangnick did have his pre-match press conference a few days back as well, and there was a small issue considering Jesse Lingard. Now, Jesse Lingard will not be taking part of this game since he needs, in fact, as Ralph Rangnick did say, Jesse Lingard needed some time to clear off his head. He needed some time by himself, and that is why, as Ralph Rangnick said, he won't be part of this game. A few hours later, in fact, Jesse Lingard did come out and tweet out saying that he needed some time, but he will respect Manchester United's decision if he is ever needed by the club. Now, this is total BS for me from Jesse Lingard. I think at the moment, currently the United squad, like most people say, are used to the manager covering up their stories. We had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer previously, who was a very good, polite manager, you could say, who covered up for all these players such as Martials, the Lingards, the Rashford. We also saw a scenario with Rashford where he did come out and say that Rashford needs to concentrate more on his football, and later on Solskjaer did come out and did apologize for saying what he said. And with Ralph Rangnick, it's more of a different situation. Ralph Rangnick comes out, like I told you, Ralph Rangnick does not have these fairy tale stories. He comes out, gives it out of the face, answers each and every question on point. Jesse Lingard needed time. He did not want to play this game. He came out, said what he said. He said what he said for Martial as well. And these players are used to the managers coming out and covering up these stories for them. And this is not what Ralph Rangnick is going to do. And as soon as Rangnick comes out with the media, says what he says instead of saying up fairy tales, covering up these stories with fairy tales, these players can't take it. And as soon as they can't take it, they come out with their social media accounts, send out paragraphs, essays, you could call it whatever, apologizing and saying that they would respect Manchester United's decision. Now, for me, this is total BS, like I told you, from Jesse Lingard, because if he really cared for the club, he wouldn't be doing what he did. We've seen constantly on his social media pages him posting pics, or you could say stories of previous times where he was playing for West Ham on loan. He keeps posting all that. We've seen his brother, or his colleagues come out, in fact, and post stories or whatever you could say on the fact that he is not satisfied at the lack of game time at Manchester United as well. And so all this crap coming out from these players is really quite frustrating for me, and which is what I find quite annoying. And I really appreciate the fact that Ralph Rangnick comes out and says it to the face, puts it all out on the media and shows how this Manchester United squad is at the moment and how these players and where they are at the moment. So that crap aside, I'm really frustrated with these United players. Be it Martial, be it Rashford, be it Cristiano Ronaldo. If you are a Manchester United player, nothing comes bigger than the club. Nothing comes above the club. Nothing comes. There is no priority given basically before the club. You want to play, you stay here. You don't want, you leave. You take it or you leave it. And that's exactly what Ralph Rangnick himself is doing as well, which I quite appreciate from him. And I think he should keep continuing. Be it Lingard, be it Rashford, be it Ronaldo. If you are playing for Manchester United, your priority should be Manchester United. You want to leave, you terminate your contract, and you get out of here. Apart from that, let's start off with the pre-match show. Now, my starting 11 for this game against Middlesbrough is this, what you see on screen. And as you can see, so let me just read it off here. David Tahia on goal as usual, Luke Shaw, Rafael Varane, Harry Maguire and Diogo Dalot on defense, Scott McTominay, Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in the midfield, and Marcus Rashford, Cristiano Ronaldo and Jadon Sancho, the front three. Now, why I've gone with Luke Shaw here is, so let me start now. Why I've gone with David Dahe, in fact, let's start with the goalkeeper. I think David Dahe should consistently be chosen. I think he shouldn't be shuffled around with the other goalkeepers like Tom Heaton and Dean Henderson. We've also seen Ralph Rangnick pick David De Gea as the number one goalkeeper on FA Cup fixtures previously as well. And considering our next fixture against Burnley is in 8 days, and we have quite a solid break there, a break of almost a week. I think that's more than enough of a break for the players as well. So I think we could go with a strong team, and we have to, since we also need to start winning trophies. Out of the two trophies we possibly can win are the FA Cup and Champions League, as we know. And the most likely, if you look at the easiest option we've got, I think the trophy we could most likely win is the FA Cup, considering the Champions League being much more competitive and we, Manchester United, being in bad form, and whereas the FA Cup seems to be a much more easier tournament for us to win, and that is why I think we should go with the best we've got and bag that trophy. So I've gone with Luke Shaw because Alex Telles has been on international duty. So I think, yes, have him on the bench, give him that break, and start Luke Shaw. He also needs some minutes to his legs as well. He needs some game time. So we go with Luke Shaw. Rafael Varane in defense, since he has been out with international fixtures as well. So that is why I think Rafael Varane needs to start. He needs that start as well because he's been on international fixtures to get those minutes on his legs, get that final touches and polish up those little skills he has been missing. Harry Maguire definitely needs to start after the dropping he's been getting from the starting 11 past few fixtures in the Premier League. So that is where I've gone with Harry Maguire. He needs to pick form as well. We've got the Champions League coming, so we need our players to start picking up form and be at their best. I've gone with Diogo Dalot. He has not had any international duty, considering on of offensive output and his form in the recent past. I've picked Diogo Dalot. Now, why I've picked Scott McTominay over Nemanja Matic is because it's now that Scott McTominay is starting to play as that sole number 6, and he has been doing quite decently, you could say, and he needs to start getting used to this role as a sole number 6 without a partner next to him, and that is why he needs constant game time, considering the fact that we are going to face the likes of Atletico Madrid and much more competitive teams in the Champions League as well. So maybe as a preparation for that, you could start Scott McTominay. I personally, if I was the manager of Manchester United, would start him. Bruno Fernandes, since we don't have a backup for him as well, yes, it is just a Lingard. Lingard won't be available, and we also need to start playing Lingard on the wing. And I've gone with Paul Pogba, since yes, Ralph Rangnick did come out on that pre-match press conference and say that Paul Pogba is available. He definitely will be in that squad, and he's most likely to start that game in that starting 11. Why I've gone with Marcus Rashford is because I think it's no secret to you and me that Marcus Rashford has been in very poor form. So yes, definitely Marcus Rashford needs to start hitting form as well. He's not been the Marcus Rashford we know. He's not been very clinical. Considering his skills, he's not been up there as well. We've got Champions League coming. We've not got a lot of options there as well, with Greenwood now not available and Anthony Martial going on loan. We haven't got enough options. Matt Diallo leaving on loan as well. So we've got Anthony Elanga, who's not very experienced. So we need Rashford. We desperately need Rashford to hit form as well. So that is why I would consistently pick Marcus Rashford so he hits form, and it's games like this where he too could capitalize on. Moving on to our right wing, we've got Jadon Sancho. Now, Jadon Sancho, I think, could be a game changer for us against Atletico Madrid. I know we are playing Middlesbrough and it is the FA Cup fixture, but we've got to look into the future as well. We've got Atletico Madrid coming up, who play a lower block. My language there, pardon. So who play a lower block, and we've seen Manchester United struggle against a lower block previously, and what we need against a lower block is creativity. Yes, we've got Paul Pogba, we've got Bruno Fernandes, we need someone in the front line to be creative as well, and that is why Jadon Sancho is going to be vital in my opinion. So he needs to start hitting form, and Ralph Rangnick has got to play Jadon Sancho on that right wing. We need him to start playing on that right wing, adapt, adjust, get those minutes onto his legs, and hit form. We need the Jadon Sancho who used to be at Dortmund, at Manchester United, and we desperately need him. We need him fast. Cristiano Ronaldo, I think, is the obvious reason why I picked him, is because we've got no other strikers. Manchester United have got no strikers at the moment. Edinson Cavani has been given an extended break after his extended week on international duty. So we've only got Cristiano Ronaldo. Martial's out on loan, no Mason Greenwood as well. So we've got to go with Ronaldo. Now, the current situation at Manchester United, so that's my predicted starting 11 and my opinion on that starting 11. Do send in your opinions on this as well, your starting 11, your match predictions as well. And if you do get it right, I'll give you a shout on the next show and on our socials as well. Now, the current situation at Manchester United doesn't seem to be quite good. By the end of this season, if Manchester United don't qualify for the Champions League, we could see Cristiano Ronaldo leave. Edinson Cavani is definitely leaving by the end of this season. Paul Pogba seems to be very likely to move by the end of this season as well. Van de Beek seems very likely to move as well, and Jesse Lingard is definitely leaving as well. So apart from a defensive midfielder, which is mandatory for Manchester United at the moment, we've got 5 other players who are very likely to move by the end of this summer. So these 5 players leave, we've got to replace these 5 players once again. So does that mean we are not going to go for another defensive midfielder once again? I tell you what, you talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's rebuild, we're going back to square one, because this doesn't seem to be a rebuild. We've got to rebuild the rebuild, which does not look pleasant for Manchester United at the moment at all. It seems to be a pathetic situation, because we've got a new manager coming up next season, and he's got to do his recruits once again and build this squad from scratch. So we are calling off this season since we've got a caretaker bus. We've had enough problems with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Next season is going to be the first season of the new manager, so we're probably going to be calling that off as well. And it will be the season after that that we're going to start judging the new manager. So, is Manchester United really not going to hit on any trophies? Are we not going to touch on silverware again? Is the question. And the solution to each and every one of these questions, in my opinion, are the owners. We've got to get the Glazers out. It is not the managers, it is not the players that have to see the exit door. It is the owners. And that is why I think the Glazers should go out, because Manchester United seem to be in a very pathetic situation by the end of this season. Apart from that, like I told you, this is my predicted starting 11 to you as well. Luke Shaw, Rafael Varane, Henry Maguire, Diego Dalot, along with David De Gea in the defense. Scott McTominay to be that number 6. You might even see Fred, but I don't think Fred will start, considering he had international duty. Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba starting up front as well in the midfield, and the front 3 being Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, my predicted score for this game is going to be 3-1. I really don't think we'll have a clean sheet since we still look quite not very stable, you could say, on the defense. We look quite fragile as well. So yes, we've got to get that defense sorted out. We've got to be solid on that defense. Midfield doesn't seem to be the best. The attack doesn't seem to be the best. Nothing seems to be the best for Manchester United at the moment. So we've got to make use of games like this where the opponents are not that strong, where you don't have to start a second team. You've got to start your strongest team and get those minutes onto these players' legs, get that system working. So my predicted score is 3-1 for Manchester United. The game Manchester United will be taking on Middlesbrough 1:30 a.m. It is the FA Cup round 4 fixture as well. So do tune in and watch that. Considering tonight's show, that is pretty much it. Quite a small show for you guys as well. Just the predicted lineups, my opinion on why I picked this starting 11, and my predicted score. You requested for a short show. I've given you a short show. I've given you a bit of news as well, considering Sri Lanka. Yes, there is a Mason Greenwood situation going on as well. I really don't want to give you news or talk about that situation since it is still under investigation by the Greater Manchester Police. So that is pretty much it from tonight's show, folks. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I've enjoyed it too as well. So if you are new to this channel, do give us a subscribe, smash a like on that video, and give this video a share as well. And until I see you on Sunday, hopefully I'm fit for that show as well. So until I see you on Sunday for the next show, this is good night and goodbye. Have a blessed weekend. This is the United Forum.